Okay, we are both the learning leaders at our school, and also Terry's one of the Prep 1 teachers, and I'm one of the 2-3 teachers. Thornbury Primary School currently has an enrolment of 250 students. Our SFO for this year is 0.5128 and has been decreasing due to our changing demographics. We have a diverse multicultural population with over 87% of the students coming from an Australian background, of which 32% have an Indigenous heritage. We have students from a variety of cultures, and integrating and valuing our Indigenous cultures and perspective is a focal point for Thornbury, where we regularly celebrate significant cultural days. We run an Indigenous Studies program, include an Indigenous perspective on our integrated curriculum, and have 2 full-time career educators. We also have a multi-age class from Croxton Special School who integrate with our school for many special events, specialist subjects, and also in the playground. We have 8 mainstream classrooms which mainly consist of composite grades, and in 2006 we introduced our first Prep Steiner class, and now we have 4 parallel Steiner classes with a 5th starting next year. Ours is very much a homogenous learning community, and both streams combine to share PD. We combine for PLTs, staff meetings, and all aspects of school events. And this has brought both streams the opportunity to be exposed to different teaching and learning experiences that can better cater for our students' learning styles. All teachers are expected to use the VALs for as a framework for curriculum development, and also both streams participate in the online testing and NAPLAN as well. As many of you experience within our classes, each class we have a huge variety of abilities. Our AiZ journey so far. For 2007 and 2008, our school was assigned a literacy specialist. In 2008, at the same time the AiZ project was being launched, we began a school-based 3-year early learning oral language project that particularly focused on the language development of Indigenous students. When our school improvement group set our goals for 2009 and drew up our plan to create consistency of practice across our school, it made sense to continue on this path that we'd already started and maintain a literacy focus through introducing and embedding John Munro's 7 HRLTPs into our classroom practice. This year, the whole school has successfully completed a structured cycle of PD, practice, more PD, peer observations, literacy walks and evaluations to systematically cover the literacy teaching procedures and embed these in our classroom practice. This is ongoing. In planning for 2009, we were well aware, however, that numeracy had taken a bit of a backseat. While our focus was to be on literacy, we wanted to at least make sure that numeracy improvements stayed in view for all teachers. Leadership decided, therefore, to keep us moving and inspired in this area, we would spend part of our 3 days curriculum at the beginning of the year introducing some of the aspects of numeracy that Terry and I had been exposed to as learning leaders last year. It was also decided that we would invite Peter, and not John Munro, for our academic school visit, with the view that Peter could provide expert advice and consultation on the direction that we should take with numeracy. We plan to follow this up with a number of workshops with Peter also. At the beginning of the year, we also presented PD to the whole staff on Raymond Lewis's developmental management, and this was linked closely to our startup program. There's been no prescribed expectation or accountability for staff to implement what's been introduced in numeracy and in the developmental management, as there was already expectations and accountability in place for implementing John Munro's 7 literacy procedures. We wanted to ensure that teachers were making thorough and lasting changes to their literacy teaching, and we didn't want to overwhelm them. Staff were expected to consider the numeracy and developmental management content and ideas, experiment with it, and share their experiences. What we'll be talking about today, therefore, is just the beginning of our numeracy development in the context of the AiZ project at Thornbury. As learning leaders, we've been lucky that our principal has released us on every Thursday to attend the PD for all of last year and this year, and then back at the classroom to further work on this. This has provided us with opportunity to develop our numeracy skills ourselves. And following our PD with Sue and Peter last year, we began to ensure that we implemented the guiding principles for maths lessons and practice planning and implementing the two types of lessons, building understanding and making choices, using the Launch, Explore, Summarise model. We planned lessons together and then used peer observations to develop our understanding and practice. We've continued to embed these in our weekly planning and have explored and fine-tuned planning documents. We've melded these with planning documents with the E5 model, which we use sometimes within a session or over a sequence of sessions. We've found this to be an effective way to differentiate for the various type of abilities within our classes. And having time to plan together and observe each other's teaching has been invaluable in enabling us to question, clarify, deepen and understand our practice of numeracy. During the 3 days of staff PD at the beginning of the year, we introduced staff to the guiding principles for maths lessons as presented by Sue and Peter last year. Printed cards displaying these principles have made their way into teachers' diaries and onto classrooms' walls as a reminder for them. We also spent time on number fluency and ran a short workshop giving staff time to electronically record the activities that they already use in this area, and then also consider how they could adapt these to extend them for higher abilities or for lower abilities as well. And these have been saved on our server so that they can be accessed by everyone.